Alright, so I'm in the car on my way back from the dentist's office. Figured this would be a good time to do my Iron Man update. First things first, didn't really know what to do, so went ahead, killed some cows, got 10 attack, defense, and strength. Sitting at level 13. Then I went ahead and asked Claude what he thought I should do, and he said, you're going to want to go to Drainer Village, you're going to want to start cutting trees, you're going to want to start burning some logs. So that's what I did. I'm sitting at 30 wood cutting right now, on my way to 50. Or excuse me, I'm sitting at 30 fire making and 45 wood cutting, almost to 50. Other than that, I did almost lose my account already to one of the level 7 dark wizards that's sitting outside the Draenor Bank. I AFK'd for a second, went to go take a leak, came back, almost was dead. Other than that, I was going to talk a little bit about what I do, who I am. I live in the middle of nowhere in, I guess you would call it like the grain belt of the Midwest USA. Grew up here. It's pretty boring. What I do for work out here is I probe trucks. I basically operate a little tiny boom that you dip inside of the back of semi-truck trailers. You just suck up some beans. Then you bring the beans inside, moisture test them. They get their test weight done. Then after that, you grade it, which essentially amounts to running the beans through a strainer and seeing how much of them are beans and how much is bullshit, dust, corn, other shit that shouldn't be in your beans. And that's really all there is to that. I do have an animation. I didn't have any footage of the operation there, but I did make this really janky, I guess you could say I vibe coded this janky animation, so I'll go ahead and show that on screen. As you can see, truck pulls up, probe goes in, gotta flip some switches, and in the animation here, the probe really only goes in one time, but realistically, you pump that thing in there because it's not a vacuum cleaner. It kind of sounds like a vacuum, but I guess the way it works is, and I'll try to put a little diagram on screen if I can remember to do that. But essentially it's a tube wrapped in another tube, and at the bottom of the tube it has a bunch of air that's it's directed down, but then the air gets redirected up at the last second and it shoots the beans up the thing. So really it's kind of just like air shooting or pushing beans up rather than being sucked up like a vacuum cleaner. It's relatively boring work. Really, that literally is all I do is just probe the trucks, and then we send them on. They go dump, and it gets made into animal feed, ethanol, all sorts of shit. Over the years, I've done other different jobs. I've done a little bit of construction, food service. You got to do food service. Then I've done, I've worked at a vape shop. I worked there for like 8 years. I actually loved that job. Probably would stay there until I was dead if it wasn't for the fact that you can't get insurance. I didn't even really care that it didn't pay that well. But I'm back in the ag scene. It's pretty hard to live in this area and not be in it. Let's see, what's some other fun facts about myself? I've snowboarded for probably about 15 years or so. You can't really do that in the flat area here in the plains, so you gotta make your way west to the mountains to have that kind of fun. I played hockey for 17 years. That's another big staple up here. Everybody plays hockey. The further north you go, the more diehard it gets. And yeah, other than that, I guess I went to schooling in the area. What's that like? I went to a Class B school, so that was like kindergarten through 12th grade. I'd say that the time I was there, the entire population of the school and students fluctuated maybe 10 here and there, minus plus 10. It was about 110 students per year, and that's again K through 12. I went to that school until I was in 9th grade, had 8 kids in my class. It was pretty cool. I was a bit of a troublemaker when I was going to the small school there. When I was in 10th grade, I transferred to it was a little bit further away, but a bigger school. I had already been playing sports through that school. I had a bunch of friends there, so I guess to me it was just something I wanted to do really more than anything in retrospect. That being said, it was a huge culture shock. Even though I knew a bunch of people there, it was still pretty crazy going from a class of 8 people to a class of, I think it was like 220, which depending where you're from, that probably isn't even that much. But yeah, that's a little bit about me. That's the Hardcore Iron Man update. Maybe I'll get another one out this weekend. We'll see if anything interesting happens on the Iron Man. Other than that, that's it for this one. Thanks for watching. Deuces.